So how is life after quitting? I guess I owe you guys that, don't I? Hello, Healing Fam. Welcome to Healing Not Heal, where we will talk about all things mental health and holistic wellness in a very transparent and culturally competent space. So part of me was just like, okay, moving on, let's go on to the next topic of mental health, of something, going on in the media that catches my eye, or a conversation or something, a theme, with my clients. And I was just like, well, you can't necessarily just move on and leave the cliffhanger and not really touch back on how is life after quitting. It's been a week so far, and it has been a great use of time for rest and recovery. I am so grateful for the day naps that I have been able to collect. And so I've been catching up on a lot of much needed rest and a lot of just mental planning and reflection and just a lot of me time. I also got my cane corso back, which has been super lovely, which is part of my grief story, which is why I was hesitant about my follow-up story of, life after quitting, because as much as I had a lot of excitement around quitting, that day was very emotional and just taxing for me, and then I got Amina back, and it was just a spiral of emotions of just full circle for the approximate 5-6 years. And so that being said, I finally got the end of the week, because I had family in town. I finally had the end of the week to just sit with myself. Me and Amina have been going on some long morning walks, getting to the gym and taking my time. And that's been the beauty, it's been taking my time. And I've been doing a lot of reflection. And it has been a lot of full circle moments of, I am grateful for those moments that I walked in my faith. Even those moments when I walked in blind and I did it wrong, I'm glad that I kept walking, because there was many times that I didn't want to be honest. And so when that grief came knocking at my door to remind me of the full circle moment that prompted me to heal in the first place, to create this woman that is in front of you, it was just like, wow, I wanted to have that moment to regress and have that excuse to be like, I'm always going to feel this way, but I chose differently for myself. I coped differently for myself, and I kept going with celebrating the success of being able to move forward with my business. And so far, it has been amazing. I have been able to really reflect on my clients and how I want to show up as a clinician, the integrity I want to have as a business owner, the projects that I want to expand on in the community, the collaborations I want to work on with people that I know and love, and in the community as well. And it was still developed that confidence, right? The grief hit me hard because not only, blast from the past, but it was, you want to feel validated in these moments. I really, when I quit my job, and, I was planning to quit my job, of course, you have family and friends that are, let me put it this way, I have friends that were proud of me and like cheering me on the entire way and knew about it. And of course, you want close family, like blood relatives, to be just as invested as and as encouraging. And so, of course, I have my chosen family. I have my friends that are, like I said, amazing people in my life. But that grief hit me for a moment, because the people that you wanted that validation from, that cheering squad, those are the people that sat back and didn't support you and didn't show up and weren't truly invested in you. But when you did the thing and you made the success, then it was, I'm proud of you, right? And it wasn't that they weren't proud of me the entire way. It was just never communicated. It was never shown. And so, although you want to feel like, oh, that's the I'm proud of you I've been waiting for, it's kind of like, I had to find that motivation on my own. And so there is those feelings of like resentment and grief. And I did it on my own. I don't need you. You know what I mean? So I have really had to process through those emotions, because at the same time I was sitting here excited, like, oh, this is my last day on the job. But then you get this, I'm proud of you moment. And it was just like, I wasn't even thinking about you, bro. Like, right. And so again, I had to process what was my trigger in that moment. And that trigger, which again, this is why I was so proud of myself. I allowed myself to feel those emotions, to see that trigger was that need for gratification and wanting that gratification from certain people and certain loved ones, in which you have to take a step back and again acknowledge, process, reframe, and move forward, which I was able to do, right? I could have been stuck in this narrative of what I could have told myself of many things. I could have told myself many things. But old Candace coping would have tried to escape the feelings. She would have probably drank it away and called it celebrating, for one, but also drowning my feelings. She would have sulked in my emotions, isolated with those feelings. But new me, healing me, because I'm going to say not healed, healing me actually, processed with a friend what I was feeling. I worked out my emotions. You know what I mean? I felt them. I hit the punching bag. And I brought myself back to a moment of gratitude of like, I did that. I'm proud of myself. I did that with or without the support of others. And I didn't need the validation, but I appreciate it. And thank you, right? Like, disconnect those feelings of anger and resentment, because what does it get us? It gets us nowhere. I was able to acknowledge both, right? I can acknowledge my feelings of disappointment in that it isn't the envisioned in the way that I had wanted it to, because that's the control aspect. That's the anxiety of it, is wanting to control the narrative. It happened in the way that it did, and I needed to release that control and radically accept the outcome of it and be gracious for the support and love, no matter what energy it comes from, as long as it's positive energy, right? So it was such a full circle moment, because I felt super proud of how I handled that situation. I continued on celebrating, and then I was so caught up in my emotions, I had even forgot that my dog Amina was coming back. And part of that full circle grief moment was no one even knows this part of the story. I actually had to give Amina away. I didn't have to give Amina away, but I was kind of given an ultimatum. And so I gave Amina to my cousin, who was a truck driver. And as a woman on a truck, I was like, I want you to feel safe and protected. And Amina is very protective, FYI. I thought it would be good for both of them. Amina would feel wanted, be able to travel the road, see the world, be able to explore. My cousin would feel protected, and she was loved. So full circle, my cousin is no longer able to take care of her for her own reasons. And so I have Amina back, which was like my best friend. And I felt like I had to give Amina away, which was one of the biggest depressive phases of my life, was giving Amina away, because she was how I coped with the loneliness, with the isolation, with the disconnection. I was really in a very dark place, and Amina was like my one support system at the time. And to be told to get rid of her, I was really at my darkest. I was really at my wit's end. And so, again, that snowballed a whole effect of the woman that you see today, that had to heal and grieve and process and mourn and go through the ups and downs and make more mistakes and learn many, many, many lessons. And so, again, when it came to announcing that I was quitting my job, in that full circle moment of people that want to enter in and out of your life, it was just like I really wanted it to be about me, but I couldn't control the narrative, because in all honesty, had it not been for everything that I experienced, I'm not sure I would be at this moment. And so I had to really show gratitude in that. And I think that was really, yes, I tooted my own horn on that, because I was even like, do you even say you're proud of yourself? No, bitch, I am proud of you. I am proud of you, because you would have threw a bottle back and called it a nap and went to sleep on your feelings, woke up still depressed about it, and sulked all day. So no, be proud of yourself, girl. You called, you talked to a friend, you punched a bag, you journaled about it, you meditated about it, you cried about it, you felt your emotions, and the next day you felt great. And honestly, you moved past it mentally because you allowed yourself to feel. And I was super proud of myself. And so, again, I don't just teach it or preach it, I live it. And so that is why I also connect with you all with it, because I understand how hard it can be to navigate those emotions and to navigate that grief that is cyclical and never ending, to be honest. But it does get better as long as you're willing to heal and change the narrative and you be in control. You can be in control of how that narrative spins because this is your life. You don't have to put it in the hands of other people. Taking time to really appreciate who you are and what you do despite the obstacles, despite the barriers, continue to show up. And that's the journey, is to continue to show up. You see the aha moments when you continue to show up. And I can tell you there was many times where I wanted to stop showing up. But when I have those aha moments, I'm so glad that I did continue to show up. Because I really wanted to end it when I gave up Amina, and to have her back in my life right now. I am so grateful, and to have the community that I have right now, the people that pour into me, I feel extremely loved and supported. And that's because I choose to accept that. I choose to feel that. I choose to embrace that. I choose to acknowledge that. And I am extremely grateful. And I think that is what and how I've been able to manifest. I'm able to look at it all with love and appreciation, good or bad or ugly. So I hope that you are proud of yourself for the progress that you have made thus far. Of course, there's always continued progress to be made. Again, this journey has been amazing. I'm still excited. I'm still in the plotting and planning stages. I still have an event coming up the 24th, August 24th on Montrose Beach. Tickets are on Eventbrite. Don't forget that I'm also on the Why Me Please podcast. You can subscribe there as well, and tune in there. I'll continue to do the Healing Not Healed on Thursdays and keep you in tune on mental health related topics. We will get off me on the next video, but I did want to keep you in the loop. And then don't forget Sound Healing Sundays on YouTube, 8 p.m. live. I may or may not change the time. I put a survey out. We'll see what people say. But you can always tune in. Again, I appreciate all of my subscribers. I appreciate you being on this journey with me. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all the things at Healing Crown Wellness, Healing Crown Counseling. Thank you, fam.